Hello everybody and welcome back to Project 2. Okay, in this video, on this lesson, going to teach you how to learn how to import images into Revit. And the image we're going to import is um, part of the National Construction Code, um, and it will be an image of the building classification that this project will adhere to. Okay, so there's a couple of little things we've got to get through. So please don't forget, like, subscribe, share the channel so I can keep helping students and professionals learn about our industry. Okay, first things first. If I want to, what I'm going to do first is we're just going to create a new drafting view again, and this is going to be a reference for future work. Okay, so as before, we go View, we go to our Create tab, and we go Drafting View there. I'm going to call this Building Classification. I'll keep the scale at 1:1 because it's just going to be an image, and go OK. Okay, so I've got my drafting view ready. Now, next stage is I am going to jump to this website here. Now, this is Australia's National Construction Code. Now, if you're in a different country, you will have your own codes. They'll have the same basic principles, but different countries have different requirements, levels of legislation based on climate, local weather conditions, and the way buildings are constructed in general. Okay, so just going to schmooze our way through this one here. So I'm going to start with volume 1, and what I'm looking for are the classifications. Now I already know where to go, and we can look at this in another video later on in more depth. But here we go. Section A, governing requirements. Okay, and Part A6, building classification. Okay, so in the NCC, this is where we look. Okay, and in the NCC, or in Australia, we have 10 classes of buildings, and I'm going to open up class number 1. Okay, so a class 1 building is a dwelling, first thing. Okay, and then it's broken down to class 1A, which is one or more buildings, either a single dwelling by itself, i.e. a detached house, or 2 or more attached dwellings. So they could be units, terraced houses, row houses, etc. 1B is a boarding house, guest house. We're not interested in that. Okay. Now this matches the brief that we are working to, which is a single story residential dwelling. Okay, and there's the keyword there. So what I want to do is just take this information and use a Revit tool, which is importing images. Yeah. So I'm going to grab my snipping tool. Okay, so we're just going to use the old snipping tool from Windows. Okay, I'm just going to go make sure I'm on snipping an image, go new, and I am going to grab, I'll just grab this image here, okay, because I don't need the class 1B. There we go. Right, just a couple of little tricks here. So if I go Control R, I get the ruler. Okay, and I can then use my highlight button and go just a couple of little things like that. It's a dwelling. Okay, detached house. Okay, Control R2. Right, so that's all I want to do. I want to make sure dwelling, detached house. I'm going to save this file. I need to have it as a saved image. Okay, so classification and save. Right, so I don't need my snipping tool anymore, and I don't need the website anymore. Okay, right, so now into the Revit side. Okay, right, now I want to bring this image in. Okay, so to do that, I go to the Insert tab here. Okay, and this is where we bring things into Revit. Now we can either link them so that they say outside of the file, okay, which is good when you're working on big projects, or you can import. Okay, so you bring images directly into the project file, they become part of the project, or you can load things from the library. This is the one that we're working with today. Okay, and what I want to do very simply is import an image. Okay, so with the snipping tool, what we created was a JPEG, okay, which is an image. Okay, but you can see here we can import CADs, XML files, PDFs, and images like JPEGs and BMP files, bitmaps. Okay, so I'm just going to click on import image. Yes, I'll save the project quickly, and now I've just got to go through my drive to find that image that I found here. So here it is there. Okay, so classification, that's the one I just created. And you'll see here bitmaps, JPEGs, PNGs, TIFF and TIFF. Okay, so you can bring in lots of different files into Revit. All right, so I just go open. You'll see here I get a little cross. Okay, and this is showing the extent of the image. So if I left click to drop that, hit escape, okay, we can see there that it has imported. Now because the scale's at 1 to 1, it's actually come in at a little bit rough, but the principles are the same. I'll probably change that for next time. But again, this is just a general reference on how to bring a JPEG in. Okay, so class 1 is a dwelling, class 1A detached house. Those are the triggers that we are using for our project. Okay, the next video is then going to be using, we're going to have a quick look at the regulations that apply to the state of Victoria in Australia to understand, well, how do we put a dwelling and a detached house onto a property so it becomes a design thing. Okay, so apart from that, that's the lesson today. Enjoy, have a play around, and we will see you soon.